Good morning, everyone. This is M. Pawan from IRE College Data Science Branch B section. Now I am going to explain you one concept of 5 essential listening skills for English learners. So now in this session we are going to learn what are the essential things when you are listening to one speaker or one other. What are the first and foremost rules and what are the pr- principles we need to follow or what are the skills we need to follow for English learners. So we will learn more about this in our session. We will move on to next slides to learn more about it. Introduction. It takes a lot of concentration and determination to be an active listener. Old habits are hard to break, and if your listening skills are as bad as many people's are, then you will need to do a lot of work to break these bad habits. Means for the listening we need more concentration. For that you need to break all the bad habits which you are having in past. And if your listening skills are as bad as many other people, then you need to do a lot of work and you need to take hard decisions and you need to break more of your emotional movements or any unwanted things to be more concentrated in these things. Okay, then we will move on to next slides. Becoming an active listener. There are 5 key techniques you can use the you can use to develop your active listening skills. First thing, pay attention. Second thing, show that you are listening. Provide feedback. Defer judgment. Respond appropriately. Means when you listen to the other or someone when you listen to the other person, you should pay for these 5 things. First thing is pay attention. Second one, show that you are listening. Third thing is provide feedback. You should provide some feedback to what he was telling. Then defer judgment. You should judge whether it is a good thing or bad thing. It is helpful or not, whatever it is. Then respond appropriately. Means at the point of response only you should respond with irrespective of his asking or in the middle of the conversation. You should not respond. You should respond appropriately. If you follow these 5 techniques, then you become an active listener. Okay, the first one, pay attention. Give the speaker your undivided attention and acknowledge the speaker message. Recognize that non-verbal communication also speaks loudly. Means you should be more concentrated and you should be very focused on what the speaker is telling you. You should be understand each and every word what he was telling, and you should acknowledge the message. Means in you can use the non-verbal communication which also speaks loudly to get the concentration on it. Okay, loud at the speaker. Look at the speaker directly. Don't see some other sides or backside or sideways. Look at the speaker directly. You should make an eye contact with him most of the time. Put aside distracting thoughts. Means your mind should be so clear and you should not get any kind of thoughts or ideas to distract you from these speaking words. Don't mentally prepare a rebuttal. A rebuttal means you should not mentally decide that this speaker is telling nothing. We no need to listen to him. We know better than him. We are more knowledgeable than him. Don't decide this because everyone has their special talents. Everyone knows some special knowledge. Knowledge is more than we know. So Don't judge anyone. Don't mentally prepare for anything. Avoid being distracted by environmental factors. For example, side conversations. Means when you are sitting in a crowd, most of the people won't be pay for attention to the listener. They speak something, they used to distract you, they used to distract others, they used to speak with some other people, they used to speak loudly. These things may distract you. You subsequently stop the listening of the speaker and you will start listening to these things. So avoid being distracted by environmental factors like side conversations. Listen to the speaker's body language. Okay, how he is moving, how he is expressing his thoughts, what is the way of he expressing. You need to observe all these things. You need to pay full of attention on this. Then next, show that you are listening. Use your own body language and gestures to show that you are engaged. Means by the way how you are sitting, how you are expressing your thoughts are going to decide whether you are listening or not. So you need to be more, you should use your body language and gestures to show that you are engaged to the listening skill. Not occasionally smile and use other facial expressions. Make sure that your posture is open and interested. Encourage the speaker to continue with small verbal comments like yes, hmm, like these things. You need to be more encouraging you should encourage the speaker, whether he's telling a good thing or bad thing or anything, or a already known thing to you. You should you should encourage him and you should help him. These things you need to do when you are in a conversation, when you are a listener, provide feedback. This is the one of the most important thing you need to do, because when you provide a feedback, then the speaker will understand how he is expressing his thoughts in a good way or bad way, in a boring way. He need to change. You should tell him it is not good, you should change, or it is fantastic, it is a fabulous, you continue in this way, or you need to provide some feedback. When will you provide feedback? If you pay attention to the speaker's words, if you understand each and every word of his speaking, and you should understand if you understand the inner meaning and the main motto of the speaker, then you can give the perfect feedback to him. Then only it will helpful to him. Otherwise, when you are giving okay, it's good, okay, not good, it's not at all good. Means you should give him a perfect feedback which resembles to him. Okay. Our personal filters, assumptions, judgments, and beliefs can destroy what we hear. As a listener, your role is to understand what is being said. This may require you to reflect on what is being said and to ask questions. Reflect on what has been said by paraphrasing. What I am hearing is and sounds like you are saying are great ways to reflect back. Ask questions to clarify certain points. What do you mean when you say, is this what you mean? Summarize the speaker's comments periodically. Means in a time with respect to the time you need to summarize. Means what he was expressing at the first, what he was expressing in the middle, what he was expressing in the climb in the end, how he is taking off, how he is expressing, how he is giving his words. We need to understand each and every word inner meaning and his motto. Then only you can provide feedback. Then defer judgment. Interrupting is a waste of time. It frustrates the speaker and limits full understanding of the message. Allow the speaker to finish each point before asking questions. Don't interrupt with counter arguments. This is one of the most important thing a listener should follow. Means he should not disturb or he should not interrupt at the middle of the conversation or at the middle of the speaker's speech. Means when he started a speech, he will be in a emotion and he will be in a thing that he will be in a emotion of telling expressing his thoughts in a specific manner. Once when we stop it from that thing, he will immediately changes his mood and he can't able to return to his original state. It affects him a lot. Once if we interrupt him with our counter arguments, it will take him a lot of time to recover to the initial position of what he was expressing his thoughts. So we should not interrupt when with our counter arguments. Allow the speaker to finish each point before asking questions. Then, once the point is finished, we can ask our doubts, or we can give him suggestion, or we can ask him more about it. Then he will explain about those things. But when he was explaining, don't try to interrupt him. We must need to allow him to complete his point. That's the thing we need to follow. Respond appropriately. Active listening is designed to encourage, respect, and understand. You are gaining information and perspective. You add nothing by attacking the speaker or otherwise putting her down. Be candid, open, and honest in your responses. Assert your responses respectfully. Treat the other person in a way that you think they would want to be treated. Means being an active listener, you should encourage the other person and you should respect and understand him what he is going to explain. You are gaining information. You add nothing by attacking the speaker or otherwise putting her down. Means you need to be very respectful to the speaker as he was explaining some new topics for us. She was giving some new information to us. So we should be more respectful to her. Okay. Be candid, open, and honest in our responses. Treat the other person in a way that you think they would want to be treated. Okay. While listening is important, we must know about this. It should not be difficult to realize the importance of listening when we consider that it occupies about 45% of the time adults spend in communication. This is significantly more than speaking, which accounts for 30% and reading and writing, which make up 16% and 9% respectively. Means we need to understand that it occupies 45% of the time adults spending in communication and more than speaking, which accounts for 30%, and reading writing, which make up 16% only, 9%. Okay, for communication, it is taking 45%, then a good listener should listen to this communication. Then only he can be able to be an active listener and be a good person in society. Then it, for all its importance, students and even teachers often fail to give listening the attention it needs. This is all the more remarkable as listeners often say that listening is the most challenging of all the skills in English. Means in not only students, some faculty, even teachers are often fail to give listening the attention for paying the attention to the listening it needs. So most of the people are saying that listening is the most challenging of all the skills in English. So we should take more care about this listening skill. Then only we can get confidence and we will be able to cross our barriers to get more cha- to get more challenging listening skills in this. Okay, now we will move on to next to learn more about this. Listening challenges for English language learners. There are many difficulties an individual may face in understanding a talk, lecture, or conversation in a second language, and sometimes even in their first language. The speaker, the situation, and the listener. Sorry for that. I'm having some light cough. So, sorry for that. The speaker, the situation, and the listener can all be the cause of these difficulties. Contributing factors include the speaker talking quickly, background noise, a lack of visual clues, such as on the telephone, the listener's limited vocabulary, a lack of knowledge of the topic, and an inability to distinguish individual sounds. Well, the challenges posed by the speaker or the situation may be out of the listener's hands. There are a few skills or strategies that English listeners can use to help them along. Conclusion. These strategies are not stand-alone. While prediction is mostly a pre-listening skill, others need to be used simultaneously to get the best result when listening. Okay, I hope everyone understand that listening, how the listening is more important in our life, and what are the skills we need to pursue to become a great listener. So, thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share my knowledge. I hope everyone enjoyed my session. Thank you all.